Students, today we're going to continue working on our four spheres of the Earth. Now, even though the four spheres are separate, they all work together to make our planet exist the way we know it has always been. So, what are the four? We have our atmosphere, hydrosphere, biosphere, and our lithosphere, which is also referred to as the geosphere. Our atmosphere is composed of five layers. We have the troposphere, which is the lowest and most active layer. And this is where all life on Earth actually exists and all weather phenomena also occur. Then above that, we have our stratosphere. Above the stratosphere, we have the mesosphere, which is the coldest layer of the Earth. Above the mesosphere, we also have our thermosphere, and above the thermosphere, our outermost layer being the exosphere, which is also the hottest layer of our Earth's atmosphere. Now, our hydrosphere is composed of all the waters on the surface of the Earth and even beneath the surface of the Earth. And this includes our rivers, lakes, ponds, oceans, seas, and also the polar ice in the polar regions. But also, water beneath the Earth is considered a part of our hydrosphere as well. Oh, let me not forget, the rainfall or the snow is also a part of our hydrosphere. Now, our lithosphere is made up of the rocks of the Earth. It is the skeleton of our Earth. So this is the rock layer of our Earth. All right, and you know rocks are also non-living. Other than the rocks of the Earth, we also have molten rock. That too is a part of our lithosphere or geosphere. And the soil and the soil is also a part of our lithosphere as well, because soil is actually a collection of broken down rock particles. And that is the reason why soil is also a part of our lithosphere. You and I, as well as our animals and plants and other microorganisms as well as insects, are a part of what we call the biosphere, because we are all living organisms. And you will find living organisms basically everywhere on this planet. Even in the coldest regions, there are living creatures there. In our seas and oceans and rivers, there are living creatures. And of course, on the land, there are living creatures. All of these are a part of the biosphere. So let's look at how the biosphere interacts with the atmosphere, the lithosphere, and the hydrosphere. Here in a section of my garden, I am flanked by plants. Now the plants are all a part of what we call the biosphere, and they are connected to the, the soil, which is a part of the lithosphere. Okay, not as a part of the lithosphere, we also know that because of the heavy rainfalls that we have been receiving over the past few weeks, water is stored within the soil. The water within the soil or beneath the surface is also a part of the hydrosphere. The plants that are in the soil, that are growing from the soil, are actually absorbing minerals and nutrients from the soil. Therefore, the biosphere is interacting with the lithosphere, the soil, which are actually broken down particles of rocks, tiny particles of rocks. All right? Now, beneath the soil, we have water trapped in there, which a plant also absorbs. So now we have the biosphere interacting with the hydrosphere. It is absorbing all the water that is trapped within or beneath the soil, right? So now we have our biosphere, our plants, interacting with the lithosphere or the soil, and it's also interacting with the hydrosphere, with the water inside or trapped in the soil. Good? It is through the leaves of the plants that they actually breathe. Plants actually take in carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and also releases oxygen back into the atmosphere. So now you see the biosphere through the plants are interacting with the atmosphere by taking in carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen to the atmosphere.
During a volcanic eruption, ash and gas from the volcano mixes with the surrounding air, thereby causing the lithosphere to interact with the atmosphere. As the surrounding air is polluted with ash and gas from the volcano, living organisms such as animals, plants, and microorganisms, or even creatures in lakes, ponds, or rivers, are all affected due to the lack of oxygen. In this way, the lithosphere is interacting with the biosphere. However, ash from the volcano can also mix with the clouds in the atmosphere, thereby influencing the clouds to produce rainfall, and therefore the lithosphere is now interacting with the hydrosphere. Over a period of time, the ash that falls to the ground eventually become eventually allows the soil to become fertile. Now this enables plant growth due to the enrichment of the soil, and as the plants grow as a result of this enriched fertile soil, animals also will benefit due to the abundance of the rich plant growth. Hence, the lithosphere once again impacts or interacts with the biosphere. In addition to this, the rich fertile volcanic soil also influences the production of crops. Farmers who live on the slopes of these volcanic mountains will be able to harvest an abundance of crops such as coffee, vegetables, and staples like yam. Now, since the wind is also a part of the atmosphere, it from time to time tend to blow around loose particles of soil. In this way, the atmosphere is interacting with the lithosphere. And you may see this happening around you on a daily basis, or even, if you go to a desert region or an area that is basically void of plant and pure soil. You see the wind blowing it around. However, when you look at a hurricane, you will see where the winds of the hurricane, also being a part of the atmosphere, tend to interact with the hydrosphere by simply pushing the waves of the sea and causing them to become huge waves. Another way in which you can see the atmosphere interacting with the biosphere is when the winds are blowing trees and blowing them down. You see this on a regular basis, but during a hurricane, the force of the wind can also not just blow trees but also destroy them, also destroying animals and even people and even people during the hurricane. This is how the atmosphere is interacting with the biosphere.
Now, a closed system is basically where energy is only released, but nothing enters that system. Now, the Earth is a very good example of a closed system. An open system is where both energy and matter both enter and leaves the system. Take, for example, our bodies. Our bodies are open systems because we can actually take in food, but we also release our, what we call it now, our waste products, right? Our feces, and that makes us an open system because we are taking in matter and releasing matter, but we're also taking in energy through the foods that we eat and our interaction with the sunlight. Plants are also an open system because plants absorb sunlight, which is energy, and they create their own food, which is matter. And when they die, they decompose and become fertile nutrients for the soil. Hence, they're giving off matter again. So plants are open systems. We, like other animals, are also open systems. As a matter of fact, students, everything on this planet are open systems. Only the Earth as a whole is a closed system because the Earth only releases energy but does not release matter, nor does it um, allow matter